Arsenal are through to the Champions League quarter-final after beating Bayer Leverkusen 2-0, which sets up a tie against Sporting Lisbon, who somehow managed to turn around a 3-goal deficit and beat Bodo Glimt 5-0. Victor Gyökeres will be returning to play against his old side. So, we should be getting through that one. But, as they say, you always have to respect your opposition. But if we're going to talk about the game yesterday's game, that first half, that is the Arsenal that I think most people, we want to see that version of Arsenal. 7 shots on target. They say that is actually a record since 2003-04, it said, for the most shots on target in a game in the UEFA Champions League. So Arsenal made records. They were very, very positive yesterday. There were quite a few standout performances, if we're being honest. But the most important thing was the victory and no more injuries. The fact that we got no more injuries ahead of the final on Sunday is a massive, massive boost. But we got to talk about Eberechi Eze. That is what I actually want to talk about, because Eberechi Eze, he has got quite a lot of criticism. He's been called Booker T. They've been saying that he's one of the flops of the season. But yesterday's performance, that should give Eberechi Eze a lot of confidence. Because to me, it looks like he might just be starting to get what is needed for him to be a successful player at Arsenal. His off-the-ball work yesterday, I was a big fan of him. Because a previous game, I can't remember what game it was, I was very, very critical of him off the ball. But yesterday off the ball, pressing non-stop, looked hungry. When he got on the ball, he was positive. And then the goal he scored, I was saying just stop the Puskas award. Just give it to him. Just give him the Puskas award right now, because that strike, you can't hit a ball cleaner than that. There's no way you can hit a ball cleaner than that. Right in the top corner. It's no surprise. You had Saliba, hands on his head. Ben White, hands on his head. Everyone was like, what did I just witness? And he's done that on one of the biggest stages, the biggest platforms. Champions League, round of 16. Of course, there's more games to go. So that could just be sort of like like Declan Rice's free kicks last season. We only remember these moments if a trophy is lifted at the end of the season. But one thing about Eze is, last season, it was probably around this time for Crystal Palace, he went on a mad run towards the end of the season. He put up some outstanding numbers, and it culminated with him scoring effectively the winner in the FA Cup final to win Crystal Palace their first ever trophy. So hopefully he can get the winner for Arsenal on Sunday. This is something that he probably would have dreamed of as a kid. Arsenal player winning a trophy with his boyhood club, the team that he supports. So hopefully Eze starts, and hopefully Eze can make an impact and he can continue off yesterday's performance. Another player, Declan Rice, got the second goal. Both goals were so good. The finish was so smart. Just bent it outside the post, back in. Goalkeeper, no chance. He could have easily, when the ball went up in the air, he could have just smashed it on the half volley, and you never know. Them ones are a bit more difficult to control. He took an extra touch and then put it into the bottom corner. So Declan Rice is continuing to show what type of player he is at Arsenal. A leader. He's becoming very, very influential on the pitch in terms of his presence, his aura. He's being able to make a difference in big games. It's not just little games, it's big games. When Arsenal have a big game, if Declan Rice puts in an 8, 9 out of 10, it usually ends with Arsenal winning. And that alone is giving his credentials for potentially, I'm not even gonna say it, but you know where I'm heading in with that anyway, people. But Declan, great performance from him, and yeah, what a signing he's been for Arsenal. Definitely one of the best in the Emirates era, especially if we can get the job done. But also in the game as well. So the first half, it was quite comfortable for Arsenal, dominated. I think overall, might have had 20 shots, like 10 on target. Yeah, we peppered the Bayer Leverkusen goal. There was only 2 shots on target for them, but David Raya, he had to come up clutch. He made a big save, a big save. And he always does this in moments. There's always moments in games where David Raya, he comes up big and he makes just a crazy save. So, big up to David Raya. I've been very critical of David Raya when he makes mistakes. But one thing I am is very balanced, and he has made some big saves in key moments for Arsenal. So, I just want to give him a little round of applause, as I believe it was 2-0 at the time, and that could have easily brought the tie back to 3-2 on aggregate. So big up to David Raya, man. Big up to him. Doing a great job for Arsenal. And one thing in that second half, obviously, Bayer Leverkusen, they did towards the end, they were trying. They had more possession than Arsenal. They were actually trying. They are a good side. Like Kasper Hjulmand, yeah, that is a manager that he's got a very good reputation. We saw from his time at Denmark. He got Denmark to semi-finals of the Euros. He had Denmark a very, very dangerous side. Not a lot of teams wanted to play against Denmark. So, yeah, he's doing a very good job at Bayer Leverkusen. So, yeah, man, big up to Bayer Leverkusen and their manager. All the best for them in the Bundesliga. But one thing we also did get to see in this game was Miles Lewis-Skelly, the forgotten man. Obviously, he came on, 87th minute? He got a little run out in midfield, so maybe that's something that moving forward, we're like, okay, you're going to get more minutes in midfield. We do probably need a left 8, and I think he fits the bill. If Rice ain't available, you're sticking Miles Lewis-Skelly there, because I feel like he'll be able to do that job. Can get up and down, can find the pass. He's very progressive, so great on the ball. So hopefully we get to see more of him, because I'm sort of feeling sorry for him. He's not really getting the game time that he needs. But yeah, man, I guess he's young. He does have to wait his chance. His chances are probably of going to the World Cup. It's probably over now, but you know what? Who cares? He shouldn't really worry about going to the World Cup. What he should be focusing on is improving on his game. And if he can get minutes for Arsenal, get those minutes and hopefully help us on our quest to win as much as possible this season. But yeah, people, man. that's all I want to say. This is the match reaction for Arsenal 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Sporting up next. Manchester City on Sunday in the Carabao Cup final. Will Arsenal finally win their first piece of silverware since 2020?